Right meow. Not meow. Right meow.
All
right.
Oh, there we go.
I think we live.
We live? Are we here? We make it?
We trying. The
We
internet's not
live.
being good to us tonight.
Internet is fighting us up here tonight, kid.
It's Arctic out here and way up here in the east coast of Maine.
Oh, she's a chilly one up here tonight. She's a chilly one. Snow
All
everywhere,
right.
icy all over the place.
How we doing, everybody?
Yo!
Welcome, welcome. We got a lively crowd already.
Absolutely.
Welcome, everyone. Let's go over to Twitch real quick. We have Jen, Queen Vampirus, Hunter Dylan. How's it going, everybody on Twitch? On YouTube? Holy
It's
cow.
up.
Louis Vargas, Lilith. We got the Presidente himself, Danger Dean, Mr. Fourth Row, Game Smashing, To-Do List Studios. How we all doing tonight? Rhea Rabbit,
Up.
Rebecca W. How we all doing? Welcome, welcome, everybody. Dudes, how are you doing?
Dude,
Doing great.
Once we warmed up, things were wicked good. Awesome show tonight for Ignition. Get the icicles off everything, and the Ignition just kind of melted all the ice that was around over
We
here.
had a great main event
Yes.
up until the end, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to bear with us tonight. We are currently dealing with a winter storm that's currently destroying our internet at the moment, so
So
we're trying our best
has
there.
Hunter has an interesting question in the Twitch chat.
What is that?
What would be the opposite of Wicked Pisser? And that's difficult because we're really not supposed to swear. But if something is that good on one end of the spectrum, like wicked would still be the adverb, but you could fill in your favorite expletive after it. Probably start with F, I think. Probably.
I forgot about John Corpus. How's it going, John? How we doing?
Hi, John Corpus. Saw that name in chat earlier tonight.
All right. Do you guys...
Fellow.
I'm going to have to go with a boatload of effery.
That's good. That's good.
Not bad.
A boatload of effery. I like it. All right. All right.
Ross, banger after banger after banger after banger. Blah, 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 blah. Holy cow. All right. We got a lively chat here. I love it. Love seeing that. All right, boys. You guys want to get right down to the nitty gritty here?
Yeah, why not? Let's get going.
All right. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Dudes and Belts Reignited Post Show here on Twitch. I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, as always. And man, historic Ignition that you guys just saw about 15 minutes ago here on YouTube. Before we get into everything that happened tonight, including the main event for the Ignition Championship, let's introduce the panel for tonight, shall we? On the left, we have the one that lives way up there on the east coast of Maine, the inventor of the Lighthouse Grading System, the one and only Lighthouse Grading System. Oh, I screwed up there. The beacon of the week, the one and only Coastal Crusader.
I know I'm on Thursday nights now because the bowling league got canceled because of our wonderful weather. But it was hot in the ring tonight at the Wimmer. There was absolute just match after match after match of what I wanted to see, what we all wanted to see. And then we got to the end. And that's where I'll leave it.
Yes, because I'm sure we'll be talking in depth about that match later on tonight. On the right, we have our resident masshole himself, the one and only Marky Pins.
What's good, everybody? I am the Masshole Marky Pins, and tonight we saw a lot of massholery without the M. We saw a lot of questionable tactics taken by a lot of questionable people, including a new guy, Mick Diamond, opening up a match with some questionable tactics against Abatu. We'll get to that in a few short minutes. We'll see how that worked out for him, but here's a spoiler. Not very well.
All right, boys. You guys ready to get into tonight's Ignition?
Let's go.
All right. Leading off this episode will be Briscoe Crown, one part of your starting lineup as he takes on your reigning and defending Rocky Mountain Pro Heavyweight Champion, David Drake. We haven't seen David Drake on Ignition in quite some time, but he definitely made his presence felt tonight. Coastal, what did you have for this one?
Well, before I knew who Briscoe was taking on, when I saw him coming out limping, no boots, I was like, oh no, this is, hopefully it's somebody he can just kind of, muscle his way through. And then I saw it was Drake, and I'm like, oh God, he's going to die. And I was not far off, unfortunately. I give props to Lucas for staying there the whole time, because he was about a foot and a half away from the serial killer that grabbed him. And, I give him credit for being there. But this match was all about Drake doing what Drake does. He saw a wounded animal that was Briscoe Crown. And I give Briscoe all kinds of props because he fought and he has heart. And he went out there because he was told to go out there and have the match. And he was going to go out there and have the match. May not have been the smartest thing, but I give him credit for the strength and courage to go out there against David Drake, who is your champion, on essentially one leg. He did get some offense in. Let's not say he just got steamrolled, because he did try and get a fair amount of offense in. He just couldn't capitalize on anything. He hit a big impact move on David Drake, but just could not cover. And Drake was down for an extended period of time. But this was Drake again. You see him, he unwraps the leg at the end of it and just starts going to town on the ankle and the knee with his fists, his legs, everything. And then he ends up just making him pass out with that mandible maul and getting the win. And then after the match, Marky, we witnessed an assault and battery.
Yeah.
Like, straight up out of a Stephen King novel. Like, he bashed the dude's ankle with a pipe.
I mean, I was thinking it, and Lucas said it. This was exactly, if you saw the old Stephen King movie, or if you ever read the novel Misery, about the author that gets trapped in the log cabin with the crazy woman, and she wants him to write a novel for her based on her characters. And when he doesn't do it, she keeps torturing him until he does eventually. One of the things she did was put a wooden block between both ankles and kind of hit the other ankle with a
sledgehammer.
Object. She used a sledgehammer in the movie. He used a lead pipe this evening. And
that seems to be his weapon of choice, Marky.
It does. He seems to have gone with that big, heavy lead pipe, and it is very, very impactful after a match where he was already amazingly impactful. Everything that Briscoe could throw at David Drake, he did, and David Drake just kept coming back for more. It was almost like the strikes didn't affect him, and we've seen that before out of David Drake, where he is taking punishment and smiling and almost begging for more afterwards. We saw some of that tonight. Briscoe does, like you said, he hit that big impactful move. He hit a big bulldog off the second rope. He just couldn't get the cover for too long. Finally gets it, and then Drake rolls him right back over into the mall out of a pinfall combination, which just shows you David Drake is on a totally different level right now than many, many other people in the back right there in Rocky Mountain Pro right now. He's showing why he is the champion. And if you saw Charged, he's making his presence felt everywhere lately, in the Charged arena, in the Ignition arena. It does not matter where he is. It doesn't matter who you think you're wrestling. It could be anybody. And tonight, Briscoe saw him coming, but there was just nothing you could do about that freight train named David Drake. Absolutely nothing.
Has anybody seen Sergey? I'm worried about my Soviet friend.
I'm worried about Briscoe. He's gonna
I'm super worried about Briscoe
right now.
But at least I know Briscoe's getting medical attention. I don't know where Sergey is.
That's the thing. There's a lot going on right now.
He could be back in Russia. For all we know, Drake could be talking to Putin. I wouldn't put it by him.
We're talking Owen Easton. Disappeared by David Drake. We're talking about Sledge, all but disappeared by David Drake, who showed back up on Charge the other night, but nevertheless still made his presence known. And now we're talking about Sergey. We're talking about Briscoe Crown. You have a bad track record, if you're David Drake, of leaving the ring and having your opponent be able to come back tomorrow. Which I guess if you're David Drake, that's what you go for. So
I think David Drake just wants to cause pain to everyone.
He's like the little girl in the meme of the house burning down, And the little girl looking back with that half smile on her face, like, yeah, I did that. I did that.
I honestly think all of the losses and just the unableness to gain that success when he was with Full Send, when he was with Zamore way back when he just wasn't doing it, the right way, and he was the all-American babyface, and it just was. I think all of that broke him. I think the failures broke him, and now he just wants to break everyone.
Well, poor Briscoe is going to be competing in the Grand Prix tournament in a week or two. And he's
the Grand Prix tournament. What about that tag team tournament where they might not be a tag team anymore?
I mean, Briscoe's got a rough couple weeks ahead of him. That's for sure.
He does.
I do have a question in regards to that. Is it the Freebird rule? Can a Batu be with Kendrick and it's still your starting lineup?
It might be 6v6 depending on if Derek Stone is able to go.
Because it is a unique situation with them going against the OGs, with
Yeah,
them also being a 3-man stable. That's very, very interesting situation.
All right, let's give a shout out real quick to Queen Vampirus for putting in 400 biddies to the Rocky Mountain Pro Twitch channel. Greatly appreciate you,
Thank
Queen.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's move on here. We got some Lockets action to talk about. Lilith Grimm versus Lola. Once again, the rivalry continues.
It does, but let's not forget who came out with Lola. Yay, Caden was there. Hooray. Or, I won't repeat these names, but there were some very, very funny names in chat they were coming up with for Caden Koyama. Just,
Yeah.
Both of them. And Johnny Casanova, too.
You guys can go back watch the replay just for that and re-chat about the nicknames. But I digress.
Blood Vanilla Ice was my favorite one.
Yeah, I think he's more like, if it's Lola the Adventurer, he's got to be like either Handy Manny's broke ass cousin or something like that follows around Lola. I don't know. This match was, again, a renewal of a rivalry. It was really, really great. Lola never, ever fails to deliver. Every time she goes out there, it doesn't matter who she's against. She is able to find ways to get it done. And unfortunately, tonight she doesn't. But again, we see something different at the end of this match. But Lola really put up a hell of a fight. And it took Lilith a lot to put her away. And actually, for everything that Lilith was doing in her Warhammer phase, it was not working. I'm going to cut right to the end here, because what happens in the end is very, very intriguing. We see Lilith use the Manqueda, and after the pin, kind of do a little demon stuff there that we haven't seen in a year plus. And then she kind of snapped out of it, but she got a win by doing what her therapist there, the good doctor, said to embrace the demon. Marky, it looked to me like she embraced the demon tonight.
She has this inside, and whether or not we choose to face our demons or to hide our demons over a course of time, eventually they come back out, and there is no way that demon, Lilith Grimm, was going to stay inside for that much longer. So much happened to this poor woman, to Lilith Grimm, mentally, with losing Reagan, losing Noel. It was only a matter of time before this came back out and kind of snapped. And we saw a little bit of a couple weeks ago. She kind of flickered a little bit in her match and then went back. And then we see a little bit of it again tonight after the match. She put on a solid power display tonight against Lola. Look, this rivalry has been going up and down the road now for so long that these two competitors probably know each other better than any other two in the RMP locker room. It's just look at the amount of matches that they've had against each other, and each time Lilith has had to pull something new out. Lola's tried to pull something new out. Tonight, Lilith saw that X marks the spot coming and managed to just power Lola off and get her in that Manquera. She had her up for the burning hammer. Lola fought out of it. You're not fighting out of the Manquera. We've seen others try. We've seen bigger and badder fail. And tonight we saw Lola not be able to get out of it. That move is devastating. That just snaps the shoulders back and you have no recourse whatsoever to be able to kick out of it at all. And Lilith Grimm gets the win. We're watching them trade wins, trade matches back and forth. This is leading. I don't exactly know where this is leading. Let me say it that way. But we do know that it's in anything, in my personal opinion, this is upping Lola's game, keeping herself relevant, keeping herself involved with such high-level talent like Lilith Grimm, elevating herself. Now, whether or not any of this is Caden Koyama's influence, look, you can go back to the beginning of the match and look at Lola's face when she saw Caden come out, and that tells the whole story right there. However, he has been there. He is yelling encouraging words. He's trying very hard, but I'm telling you, it's just not working in that regard. However, Lola herself inside the ropes is proving every single week that she is pretty much bringing herself up to miss every night status. Sorry, Caden.
All right, sorry about that. I was just writing down a couple notes. Yeah, no, that the whole interaction towards the end there with Lilith channeling her inner demon is definitely something to keep an eye on as we inch closer to our next episodes of Charge and Never Broken as well. Let's see if this therapist actually has something, going for Lilith. It seems like he's on the right track with her. Because Lilith has done nothing but win ever since. Very curious.
She's got to embrace it. She's got to embrace this. She tried doing it the right way when Legion broke up. She tried going off on her own and becoming this Warhammer and not the demon anymore. Things went well. Then things didn't go so well. And then, like I said, her mental state just kind of fell apart because everything that was good around her fell apart. Now she has to bring herself back in. Look, somebody told me once when I was a child, if you don't do something yourself, nobody's going to do it for you. People can offer you information and wisdom. They can open the door. But in the end, like Morpheus said, you still have to walk through it. And Lilith is finding out walking through that door, her way is the way.
All right, moving on.
I'm a big Matrix guy. I love the Matrix.
Moving on, we still got a lot to talk about here in this episode. Next matchup on the card tonight was another member of your starting lineup, Abatu, trying to get at least a win for your starting lineup as he goes one-on-one with the young up-and-comer Mick Diamond.
Marky start this one because he had talked about how Mr. Diamond started this match.
That's true.
So.
That's true.
Yeah, if you don't, okay.
Yeah, so go right ahead.
All right. I was watching this in the beginning of the match, and I'm looking at this like, okay, this is going to probably be one of Mick's toughest tests in RMP so far. You are facing the monster himself, Abatu. You are facing the demon himself, his own, this different type of creature that is Abatu now. This in your starting lineup, Abatu, which we don't know is different or not worse or better. It is just Abatu. You don't know what you're going to get from him. All you know, and even all we know, we're not even in the ring with you guys every week. But when you come out and you have to face Abatu, you better be ready for anything and you better bring the game. And I really thought that Mick Diamond was going to see that and bring that. And instead, it looked like he tried to have some fun with Abatu in other ways that you wouldn't ordinarily do things with the Batu. Okay, so listen, I have to talk directly to Mick Diamond if he's watching. I would never, ever, ever, and I'm only a trainee guy. I'm only a guy that trains, and I'm a referee. I would never start a match with a Batu by slapping him in the ass. Number one, ever. Like in a lucha pass, go behind, and you just slap him and what? And then you purple nurpled him. Did you see how mad he got? He tossed you around like you were a ball of tinfoil from yesterday's leftovers, man. That might not have been the best way to start the match against Abatu. Look, he's been the most unhinged member of your starting lineup since he has shown back up. Like I said, we don't know what to get from him. That might not be the way to start a match against the Batu. And the Batu does go off. He gets nuts. He puts a boot directly in Mick's face. A whole bunch of corner headbutts and a big, huge slam coming out of the corner. And this is all 300 pounds of a Batu, dude. Like, what are you doing? Now, don't get me wrong. Mick finds an opening, like it looks like he realized he kind of screwed up, and he fixes it. He comes up with a nice head scissors in the corner and a big cross body, and he gets a Batu down for the pin and a 1-2, and a Batu kicks out. But then a Batu just says, all right, this guy's faster than me. I'm going to hold him down. Nice headlock, keeps him on the canvas with the headlock, switches positions a moment later, nice chin lock with the knee in the back. Abatu's going to ground and pound school right here, taking Mick down and wearing him out. Now, Mick does end up being able to slink his way out. It takes 4 drop kicks, 4, to knock Abatu down. It took the 4th one to finally get him down. But it's just nowhere near still enough. Abatu is that. You really needed to take him down early. You needed to work on the knee, work on the hip, work on something on that leg that doesn't let the big man use his power. I mean, one of his most deadly finishes is a sky high. You don't want to eat that because that's coming from the top of the Wimmer arena. That wouldn't have been good. But he doesn't get the sky high. Instead, he just gets another gigantic pump kick straight through the chest. I think there might be a hole in Mick's chest right now for fixing that up. So Abatu gets the win here. Mick Diamond, Coastal, I want to talk about this for a minute. He has been doing very, very well. He's been doing very well. He's taken some L's, but that's okay. You learn more when you lose than when you win. Tonight, he came out a little bit lackadaisical against the Batu. Now, I gave him a lot of crap in the beginning of this, but now let's go forward a little bit. Do you think he'll make that mistake again against literally anybody, let alone somebody big like a Batu or Kendrick or somebody like that?
You know, I think he's smart enough to learn. I really do. He's kind of the goofy guys we've seen backstage. He's doing the magic tricks, the card tricks. He's getting everybody going. And you can be loose in the ring. You have to be out there. And anything you play, you need to be loose. And, you normally perform better. There's a difference between being loose and being borderline disrespectful. And when you're in there with a veteran and a guy like Abatu, and you give him a purple nurple, he's probably going to do exactly what he did to you. So is anybody else. I mean, you wouldn't do that with Damon Ace, would you? I mean, I hope not.
Oh no.
But I think that he learned a valuable lesson, at least I hope, that there's a time and a place for everything. And perhaps it's not in the middle of the Wimmer Arena on Ignition doing the happy-go-lucky fun games. Maybe he needs to, bear down and concentrate. So we'll see the next time when, Mick's in the ring, if we get a more focused Mick Diamond.
I do hope we do. I have a lot of faith in the kid. He's impressed me many times. I think he's very good. I think he's going to be something great. He has Derek Stone's eye on commentary. Stone has preached and said a lot of good things, praised Mick Diamond up and down for having something good, and he wants to keep an eye on him.
I wonder if we get Squire Mick Diamond.
He might not have to work as hard as Radowski did a bunch of months ago to do it.
Oh, maybe.
As long as he stops slapping demons in the ass.
No fear. I'll give him that.
No fear. Yeah, wicked. That's one good thing about it. There was no fear there.
Not at all. All right.
Not smart either.
That's also true.
It's a fine line between fearless and brainless.
My dad used to say that all the time.
Before we continue on with this episode, for everybody that is watching on both Twitch and YouTube, if you guys don't mind, please hit that like button on the YouTube channel and make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and turning on those notifications so you guys will not miss any Dudes and Belts live show, Ignition, or Charge, or any other specific match uploads throughout the course of the week. And especially, you're going to want to hit that notification bell for Sunday, and we'll talk more about this Sunday coming up towards the end of the show. But if you guys are watching, if you don't mind, help us with the algorithm here. Throw that like button, give it a smack, and leave a comment on the bottom after the show. Let us know how we're doing, and let us know if we need to improve on anything, because we always like feedback. We can take critiques like the best of them. So
Yeah, but I'm not listening to anything from JK Pop. If they jump in, if Koyama, I'm not listening to any of those suggestions. That's not happening.
No.
That's not happening.
All right. Oh, I do want to point out something that I just saw on YouTube before we continue. I'm not embracing my demons. I'm simply am using all in my arsenal to my advantage. That's it. That comes from Lilith Grimm herself.
Good game plan.
And
I
can
only
go with
talk
that.
about.
She has a hell of an arsenal too. That's the thing. When you have multiple ways of finishing people, multiple ways of wrestling, multiple styles, you want to go quick and strike, or you want to go ground and pound, Lilith Grimm can bring all of that. Burning Hammer, Mancuerda, Lilithine. However, Lilith, we've seen a few things on the other side
here. What was the face at the end, though? What was the face at the end? What was the emotion? The shrugging off of, or basically evasing a trance for the most part that we saw.
No, it wasn't that. It was that something has, in moments, it seems as though grabbed Lilith's attention on the inside and has taken over for a couple quick seconds. And when she comes back, she's still she's still there, but we see, not gonna lie, Lil, glimpses of the past. Not in a bad way, but glimpses nonetheless. However, awesome win tonight.
Time will tell.
Right.
All right, moving on. We're going to have to talk about this match and another match as well, because this is also a very weird situation that we're kind of unfolding here on Rocky Mountain Pro. We have Caden Koryama against Bruce Wayans, who we thought was done. He lost against Dax Draper, and that should have been it. Instead, he's coming back with a T-bar.
He's Rocky Mountain's Tom Brady.
Yeah, he was for a moment, and now he's back.
Not bad.
Dude, Tom Brady, right? I don't care.
Yeah, not bad.
I think what's more disappointing to me is he's coming back, but he hasn't changed anything. Even though he's been working with Atiba.
That's true.
And I'll give him that. Like, maybe Atiba isn't the greatest person to go to, but at least he's working with someone. But from what I've seen, it's the same Bruce that I've seen since October when he lost to David Drake. It is a broken Bruce Wayans. Something is wrong. And I take nothing away from Caden Koyama, minus the fact this was, again, a glorified handicap match. Unfortunately for Bruce, he's been in 2 of those this week because Johnny Casanova was on outside doing his best Jado impersonation from New Japan by doing everything in his power to give his brother the advantage. Kudos to him. That's what they do. And even David Stone said it on commentary.
Derek
Stone, I'm sorry, on commentary, said that even when it's a singles match, they're a team. That's what they do.
Right.
That's why they're so good. That's why they're good as a team. They're good singularly because they're always with each other. And you find it, if you look at the times they're not out there together, they struggle. Tonight's a perfect example. He's out there, and then, Casanova does the distraction, and then all of a sudden we see a roll-up, and we see a big old handful of Bruce's tights. Bruce got big tights. He's a big boy. So that's a big handful of tights for a 3 count. Yeah, Caden, you got to win tonight. And you might not have got that over 100% mentally, Bruce. But this Bruce is like a beaten dog. There's no fight, and there's very little left. And it's sad to see Bruce in this shape. For as dominant as he was most of 2022, that loss to David Drake did something to him, Marky. It did something bad.
Oh, there's no denying that at this point in time. There's no denying that. We've seen glimpses of the boss that we knew, of the final boss himself. We see it in the beginning of this match. The boss starts out wicked quick. He goes nuts, double atomic drops, and he starts going crazy. Puts the boots to Koyama in the corner, the big spears, the Gotham sides. We see the whole bit, and he is on fire. All right, fire in the beginning. But Koyama distracts the ref. Casanova gets in those shots on the outside, which, by the way, Casanova, where's your mask, guy? Forgot your mask tonight. What's the thing? Nice face. It was better with the mask on. But, like,
at least he wore the beanie.
After all of the covered the skullet. After all of that, we see at the very end the whole thing comes up, and after the match that Koyama wrestles, he does wrestle a good match. Is the tactics in there? Yes, but we've seen him. He is a technician. He takes all the advantages, but even when he's not, he's still a hell of a technician. Boss has more power game. Koyama has more of that technician, that technical game. And he's very good at it until the very end when he does get the ref out of position. Not necessarily out of position. I can't even say that because ref was in perfect spot to see Bruce's shoulders. But that O'Connor roll with the 2 handfuls of tights is going to keep even a big guy like Boss down. And Koyama gets the big win. And Casanova runs for his life at the end of the match. And it's beautiful to see a little chicken running away when the foxes are chasing you out of the hen house. It's wonderful to see. At least he was out of the arena. But you're right. Bruce Wayne's is not the same Boss at the end of the game that you're normally used to fighting at all at this point in time.
All right. Yeah, tonight didn't help Bruce whatsoever.
No.
Unfortunately.
No.
However, as we'll talk about later on in this show, the other half, Big Teebs, as people like to call him now, Big Teebs nuts, yeah, I know, has different results. And I think what we're going to talk about later on tonight is what Atiba is trying to preach to Bruce Wayne's.
It was a prime example, John. It's good that you put it that way.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that. We got a couple matches to go before we start talking about that. But we do need to talk about this one as well, because this one again, we have Johnny Casanova getting involved here as Echo, one half of La Isla, goes up against your former Ignition champion, Sky Hossman.
This was an awesome match from start to honestly all the way to the finish. Both guys showing exactly why they were the first two to fight for the Ignition title, the newly, reintroduced Ignition title. And this was arguably better than their Ignition championship match. Echo, just a new level of intensity is what I saw tonight out of Echo. He went out there and he had a major purpose. He was ready to go. He was kind of feeding off probably the energy from his La Isla brother, Baylum, who was in that main event. He was probably feeding off that energy backstage when they were getting ready for these matches collectively. Because he came out, he was fired up. And I give it to Sky Hossman, too. He didn't need Johnny Casanova out there. I don't know why he brought him. I really don't. I got it with Caden. I didn't understand it here. I know they're both part of the firm or the law firm or law office, whatever you want to call them. But Hossman was really good in this match. He was better than he was again in the first initial title match. I saw a lot of great things out of Sky Hossman. His striking is improved. His grappling is really underrated. We think of this guy as, Sky Hossman. Sky, no, he is ground and pound, and he is really good when he got Echo on the mat, and that's where he should have kept him. Echo was able to hit a big enziguri, almost kicked his brains out. Man, it was big. And then we see Johnny Casanova getting involved again and again. Then we hear Danger Dean's music hit. That made everybody extremely happy because he came out with a couple, members of the RMP referee staff and politely told Mr. Casanova to don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out, you and your brother.
Him and brother. Yes.
Yeah, got them both out of there. Meanwhile, unfortunately, this gives Sky Hossman, who was in bad shape when this happened, real bad shape, gave him a chance to recuperate. Then we see all of a sudden he gets the pinfall victory over Echo with the big air raid crash. He was able to recover. great heads up by Sky Hossman. I'll give him that. Great heads up how to use the distraction to your advantage. Fortunately for Echo, maybe someday he'll get a clean one-on-one against Sky. It just hasn't happened yet. Now he's down 2-0 to him. I don't know, Marky. Like, I give Sky credit, but is this just more JK Pop shenanigans?
Yes. Yes, it is. This is more, and not even JK Pop. This is more Johnny Casanova. It really is. Last match, we see it happen in this match. And even though Presidente Peligro came out and got rid of him, threw him out of the building, out into the freezing cold, hopefully with no dinner,
yeah,
the damage was already done. Echo was going up for either the big Santon or the double foot stomp or whatnot, because you were right, Coastal. He had Sky dead to rights in the center of the ring. After that big Inseguri and the big corner shots, like Sky was just down and out, and Echo was going to finish this match. And even though Casanova comes up, he knocks Echo down, Dean comes out and handles it. You're exactly right. It gave Sky more than enough time to recuperate, get a couple breaths into his lungs, and then figure out what he wanted to do while Echo was standing there watching what was going on. And he got him up into the top fireman's carry, the big air raid crash cutter, and then the 1-2-3 for the win. I want to see Echo and Sky go in like a cage match or an empty arena match, or somewhere where nobody can interfere, because my goodness, if you watch the first couple minutes of this match, this was a technical gem. Sky and Echo are so fluid with each other. They both have such fantastic mat grappling techniques. The reversals, the go behinds, the wrist locks, everything is crisp and pure. There was no momentary hesitation. There was no delay. Each of these guys knew where to be, how to get out of it, and how to put the guy into the next one. It is absolutely gorgeous. Sky takes the advantage, but Echo fights himself back. It's a good back and forth battle, until Casanova inserts his ugly face into it again and then screws it all up for everybody. I know he's protecting his law office buddy, but yo, it got to a point where even Dean had to come out. And that's a rare occasion on Ignition. We haven't seen Dean come out on Ignition in a long time to deal with problems like you. And he had to come out with referees to do that. And you still, after all of this, still ended up getting your way, and your guy won. Yeah. What does Echo say? On site? The whole locker room should be on site right now with John, not even Caden, with Johnny Casanova. Just with Casanova, on site. Please, somebody, send me a picture of you knocking him out. I'll Venmo you $20.
20?
Just... let's start a GoFundMe for people who have money just to screw with Johnny Casanova in the locker room. Like, we'll supply, like, the water balloons, shaving cream, whatever they need to just, make Johnny's life a little bit more miserable. Because he does it to everybody else, so turnabout's fair play, right?
I think it should be at this point in time. Yeah.
All right.
Guy. Can't stand that guy.
We have a Bartu getting a win for your starting lineup and Briscoe losing, so your starting lineup's 1-1 on the night here. In this contest, however, it doesn't fare well once again for your starting lineup, and I think they need to make a change over on the coaching position there. I think Talboy needs to see his way out of the arena when these fantastic athletes get into the ring and duke it out, because Teddy is not doing anything back there.
No. Unfortunately for Teddy tonight, he's about as efficient as Matt Patricia as an offensive coordinator.
This is also true. This is true. Yeah. So accurate.
Patriots fans will understand that.
We have Kendrick LaRoe. Yeah, we have Kendrick LaRoe going up against Atiba, and this is what we're going to talk about later on with Atiba and Brucey here. Go ahead, Coastal.
Yeah, this is kind of the opposite of. It seems like Atiba sucked what remaining charisma Bruce had left in him out of him and is now using it, because he's walking around like he hasn't lost in months. And now he is on a little bit of a streak. I'll give him that. He just hasn't won the big one. And that's always kind of been for the last couple of years, even when he was on the right side of the rules, kind of been the thing for Atiba. Couldn't get the big one. And he's on this winning streak now. But tonight, he kind of gets manhandled for a good chunk of this match by Big Kendrick.
He did.
Big Kendrick hits him with all big 6'6". Big Easy Kendrick is all over Atiba in this match for a lot of it. And Atiba does his best to take hold. He does. But then we see Atiba start to go to the tricks he's been using. We see him start to concentrate on the knee and use some not so nice tactics to that knee. And this is kind of what Bruce didn't do. Bruce was using all the hits in the first match. You know, he hit for the cycle, second rope superstar, you know, the boss slam. But he didn't take the time between like Atiba's been doing to get that little extra in. To use the ring to your advantage, the ring aprons, the barrels. That stuff Boss doesn't do on the normal, but Atiba is showing him, hey, if you do this, and then when we get to the end of the match, Atiba shows if you just grab two hands on the middle rope, you can get a pinfall pretty quickly. Because that's what happened tonight, is he rolled Kendrick up with a really athletic roll and then just held on to the middle rope, and the referee did the best he could, but when Kendrick is, you know, he's 6'6". So when, you know, Atiba's laying perpendicular to him with his hands on the ropes and the ref's watching his shoulders, you can't see over 4 foot of humanity that Atiba's laying on to see the ropes. So, again, kudos to Atiba. Bruce, it's working. As much as I hate to say it, it's working. He's getting wins. I don't want to see you do it, but your luck's not going the way you need to get breaks. And guys, we're bowlers. We know sometimes you need that lucky break to make you string. But Bruce isn't getting any of those. So how much longer before he makes his own luck?
And watching how Atiba has been winning here and there, not always, but more often than not.
Yeah.
He's taking a shortcut here. He's taking a shortcut. Look, he stopped with all the low blows. He stopped going lower. Okay, cool, which is true. However, he's not stopping taking them little teeny tiny shortcuts at the end or at a crucial moment that guarantees he gets the advantage towards the end. And he starts at the end here with just a solid reversal in the corner. Here comes Kendrick coming in for the big freight train avalanche, man, because that's a big human being. Kendrick throws a large man. I think Derek Stone called him Gumbo Strong. Man, I'll tell you right now, that is a large human being, and that man can put away probably a big old
He's
bowl of gumbo.
boy strong.
You know what I'm saying? That guy will pick you up and throw you and be like, oh, that was a mosquito. So he's coming in for the big avalanche. Atiba gets out the way and, as a matter of fact, picks him up and gives him that flapjack into the top corner, makes him eat the turnbuckle. LaRoe goes down, beautiful leg lace into the roll-up, then grabs the rope at the strategic moment, right when that referee can't see. So beautiful moves, was in it, took a lot of punishment in this match. Atiba took a lot of punishment in this match.
Yes, he did.
But at the very end, he found that little ticket that got him the pinfall. Am I advocating for it? No, whatsoever. But this is going to put our man Bruce Wayne's, the boss himself. I got the bat right there. I love the guy. Love watching him. He was good to my kids, signed my kids' shirt and everything. He's going to start seeing this. And he's going to start realizing that for all the flack he's giving Atiba in all these training sessions when Atiba's having him do all this stuff, all these weird things, and he doesn't get it, he's going to start seeing at some point that, look, it's working for Atiba. I'm going to try it. You know why we think that's going to happen? Because how did it happen with Atiba? It happened that way with Atiba, again, with that, like, wrinkly raisin Johnny Casanova. He did the same thing to Atiba. He showed him that if he just did this, it would work. And then what happened? Atiba started doing that, and it started to work.
And it worked.
And it worked. And he got wins. Yeah, he got a couple losses, but still far more wins than losses. If you buy 10 scratch tickets and you hit on 5 of them, you can't really sit there and say, I lost. You're okay with that. Atiba's sitting there okay with winning 4 or 5 out of his last 6 or 7. Because it's more than he was winning before. Boss is on a horrendous losing streak, and actually, he should have been retired. Came back and lost again.
Yeah. Like I said,
Jeez.
nothing's changed.
No. I think the next thing that is gonna change, as much as I don't want to see it, is the final boss himself. I hope it don't happen. There's too much history with Atiba and Boss and Chopper City and everything. There's too much history for Boss to just walk away and not even consider it. Let's just keep our eyes open.
You know what I was thinking when you guys were talking about this match?
So,
Mainly for your starting lineup.
Yeah.
What has been one thing that has been missing? Through this whole entire thing. Correct.
Coach.
And what is that sound that we hear every single time your starting lineup enters the arena?
That
whistle.
Beautiful, beautiful sound of the whistle. Love it.
If Teddy is listening, all else has failed thus far with you. You better stop making love to that whistle, my friend. You're going to have to bring that out. You're going to have to do something.
Yes. Because something is missing in your starting lineup.
Correct.
Something is horribly missing right now. And I know Coach Mac is missing. Whatever he's doing, we wish him well. But right now, your starting lineup is kind of struggling.
It's not phrasing. Blowing the whistle.
No, yes, it was. No. Anyway, let's move past that real quick here.
Oh my God, you guys are so
no.
minded.
Oh, what? It sucks
mainly
when
Hunter.
it happens to you,
No,
right?
it's
sucks
mainly
when it happens
Hunter
to you,
because
but
it was
with us,
perfectly fine. It was perfectly fine.
You would have stopped the show for 15 minutes if it was one of us. Stop it. Don't even stop. Anyway, no, something's wrong with your starting lineup right now. Like, Teddy has to do something or step aside one way or the other and find some leadership for your starting lineup, because it's almost seemed like since Coach Mac's been gone, people have just been like floating around. And nobody is in that leadership. We had Kendrick LaRoe there for a minute. He was wearing the headphones. Then Briscoe was wearing the headphones. Then nobody was calling the plays. And now look what's happening. We were talking about your starting lineup going 2-1, 3-0 every single week. Now they're going 0-3, 1-2. They're having hard times. And now Briscoe, you see Briscoe's leg is mashed potatoes at this point in time after what Casanova did to it last week. We've said that numbskull's name way too many times on this show. But we saw what he did to it last week. We saw what Drake did to it this week. Dude's going to be hobbling around trying to get in his car and go home later tonight.
True.
They're in a rough way, man. They're in a real bad way.
And they got big matches coming up too.
Huge matches. Huge matches.
If there was any unsung hero in your starting lineup right now, it's either Abatu, who seems to be the only one that's been on the winning side of things, or Teddy's going to have to find some way to get these guys jacked up, because the next few weeks for your starting lineup are going to be huge.
And Abatu's another one. Can we talk about this for a quick 30 seconds? I know we have to get to the main event here real quick, and we will. But I want to throw this last little egg into the frying pan here. Every match that we've seen Abatu wrestle as of late, he'll start wrestling, but then he will go back to some of those old Abatu tactics, right? Like the eye rakes, the throat chops, the choking, the things like that, where even the other guys on the outside, Teddy and Kendrick and those guys are like, guys, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. But he's doing it, not all the time, sporadically. But lately it seems like Abatu's been getting the wins. Am I advocating for it? No, I'm not. But I'm pointing out a relevant fact that this has kind of been what's happening here. Abatu's not really going the way of your starting lineup wants to, because there's no one person like leading the train that is your starting lineup right now. Everybody's kind of makeshift leadership in it right now. They really need a solid leader in the front. Not saying Kendrick and Briscoe are not leaders. They are competitors. They are in the ring, doing the graps, night in and night out. They need the leader on the outside giving them the game plans so that they can go in and execute. How you communicate that with Abatu, I have no idea. But I don't know, maybe 9 can get with them on the text-to-speech thing on the phone, and he can understand it that way. But a lot of problems in your starting lineup.
Monster 9 created a very good thing with text-to-speech. That's for sure.
He did? Or speech to, text-to-speech. Casanova, put a sock in it, dude. Put a sock in it in the chat over here. You're wasting all of our digital energy. Stop it.
All right.
Coastal, you're muted.
You're taking all of our pixel oxygen, Johnny.
I got to charge my phone again now because of him.
All right, you guys all good?
Yes. The future, we need to keep watching for your starting lineup. They're about to enter a very tumultuous phase right now.
All right. Main event time, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we've been waiting for.
This.
Baylum Lynx versus Zamore. For the second time ever since its reincarnation, the Ignition Championship is on the line. Boys.
I'm going to let Marky take the main event. I take it every week. I'm going to let Marky take it this week.
Thanks, bud.
Baylum Lynx and chat goes, my coconut hurts. Well, my coconuts hurt.
They should.
Yeah.
They should. Some airplane flew by and hit the top of the palm tree, and they both fell out. Sorry on that one, dude. You didn't.
Yeah.
Again, you were another one that didn't catch the break, and all rights were revoked by the law firm, apparently. This was everything we wanted it to be up until the last 45 seconds of it. This was everything when I saw Lynx versus Zamore for the title, the drive to 5. It was going to end tonight. The second time we saw Sky Horseman win it the first time against Echo. Now here's Baylum coming in against Zamore, and this is a big spot for both of these guys. Lynx has a lot to look forward to. Zamore, this seems like all he's been looking forward to. You got the wild card on the outside, the gigantic question mark that is Bud Bellflower, who proved to be kind of a non-factor in the match. I was very, very surprised.
For once.
He's actually been keeping himself distant from getting involved recently, at least over the past few weeks.
Well, that's true. First of all, if you did it with Midnight, Midnight would absolutely destroy you until dawn. And then if you did it with Zamore, he would splash and then snap your neck with the Chancery. So it's probably smart for Bud to sit on the outside and be the face of what's going on the inside of the ring, while the brawn of the situation takes care of business on the inside. But Baylum and Zamore have one hell of a match. Baylum Lynx comes out real quick, a lot of fast kicks to the back of Zamore's leg, kind of letting him know he's there, kind of softening it up a little bit. And then you see Zamore just come back with some huge power, giant clothesline, a big, huge splash, knocks all the air out of Baylum's lungs. Zamore keeps the advantage with just big kicks to the knee as he gets Baylum down. He's kicking him, another splash, big avalanche in the corner. Baylum's nowhere near done yet. He kicks out. Baylum comes off the ropes. It looks like he's going for a dive. Zamore catches him into the brutal bear hug. So we've seen Zamore work the upper body, the sternum area with the splashes and the avalanches, the legs with the kicks, and now here he goes on the middle and lower back area with the back hug, the bear hug rather, really trying to go after every area of Lynx. And that has multiple advantages and disadvantages. Multiple advantages, now there's a lot of weak spots. There's a lot of areas that are hurting. You could pick one and attack it. Or the fact that you picked so many that now not one area is hurting that much. But Zamore has that kind of power. He has game-changing power. He has like Rocky Balboa power, like I'm Italian boy. I saw a lot of Rocky in my life, right? So you hear about a guy that has punch power, one punch power. Zamore has one punch power. Lynx, on the other hand, also has 1 foot power, because one animality, and you're looking up at the stars wondering what day it is, too. So this is a very, very good test of speed versus strength, brains versus brawn, and just both of these guys on the same XP level. And it was so good to go back and forth. After that bear hug, Lynx manages to clap the ears, get out of the way. Big running knee to the side of Z's head. but then Z regains some advantage. Nice big avalanche in the corner. Lynx dodges that second avalanche, goes out under the ring, comes back in with the big springboard forearm off the top. It's gorgeous every single time. Hits the nice howl in the wind, that beautiful somersault kind of diving twist in the air, knocks Z down, and he hit Z really close. Z was very close to the turnbuckle when he hit it, so the impact when he went down, he caught a lot more of Baylum coming down than a lot of others usually do. So the move was a lot more impactful in that regard. And now he's going up to the top, probably going for the big senton that we've seen. That La Isla double senton is just, it's just chef's kiss with the salt coming all the way down the arm. It's just gorgeous. And he's going for half of that senton. And then that human Cessna, Sky Horseman, comes out and knocks Lynx off the top. And everybody was worried, right, that it wasn't going to be JK Pop. We knew they were gone. And we were hoping that they wouldn't come out and just mess with this match too. And people were in the chat were saying, oh, Lola might come out. Lola's not going to come out and mess with Baylum. Like, nobody saw Sky Horseman coming. Absolutely
Stone did.
nobody.
Derek Stone did. That's
Stone
true.
Say it. I missed that part.
Yeah, he did.
Comment. I got to give it to Stone. I'll give it to him then. If he saw that coming, because Sky comes up, knocks Baylum off the top rope, right onto both coconuts, man. And then he picks him up. He gives, Zamore gets him up into what's like a modified tombstone, kind of. Didn't have the legs spread, but he had the legs on. And then just drops him straight down onto the top coconut for the 1, 2, 3. And Coastal, we have, in this incarnation, we have our second Ignition champion. The big angry man himself, Zamore, with Bud Bellflower. Predict the future for me for 10, 15 minutes. Like, let me know,
man.
From this.
It's going to be real hard to get that title off of Zamore now. It's going to be real hard. A little overzealous with Sky Horseman, the first, reincarnated champion. Cashed in for a shot at the charge title. Hey, you do you. I'm never going to tell somebody not to try and elevate to the next level. It was a short reign. I think this is going to be the exact opposite. This is going to be a very long reign. And then we see after the match, Marky, we see them continue to work on Baylum. Marky, do you remember when Bud Bellflower was with the circus?
Yeah.
He was managing 9 and Happy. You remember he said at one point he went to his lawyer to get an injunction about the tag team titles. I think we know who his lawyer is. Because he seemed to be doing some favors for the law office. That was favors for him. He's dressing nice lately. So I'm just saying I smell something very fishy in the water with Bud and POS.
Bud Bell.
They seem like they would be very, very good friends. And I think they are.
Dude, that is a connection I would have never. My goodness, dude. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking, because from what I saw afterwards, Jumbo just didn't get out of the ring with his belt. He wanted to continue doing it, showing off the air with those two beating on each other.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Baylum, this is until they squash the problem that is Johnny Casanova and Caden Koyama. La Isla is going to continue to get screwed and screwed and screwed. They need to squash those two and get this over with before they can have any single success. Because I use this line a lot, but this is the reason why La Isla can't have nice things. It's because of JK Pop. They're like a 4-year-old in a breakables collectible shop. It's a bad idea anytime that you leave them unattended. And this is what happens. And now they're rubbing off on Sky Horseman. At least Lola had the decency to stay out of there. Good for you, Lola.
See what Casanova just said over here in the Twitch chat?
Insert
Says, I love it when a... Well, no, before that.
Before that.
He says, I love it when a plan comes together. Echo, Baylum, you guys see that? This is a coordinated effort. This is not random. This is not just, oh, what are they going to do? No, they're sitting down and thinking about this, making a point of this. And I'm sure they know this. I'm sure they know.
Because
but here, this
I hope one of the Denver... I hope one of the Denver birds takes a big old dump on the law office billboard that Preston probably purchased with his 10% cut.
No, because then they'll probably make Lola go up there and clean it because
Oh, good point. Yeah, no, yeah.
initiation or something. Those knuckleheads.
You know why they're doing this, right?
Because they're scared.
Because they feel threatened.
They're scared.
They do, yeah.
Extremely threatened.
They're shaking in their JK boots.
They're scared.
All hands on deck for JK Pop and the law office going forward into Never Broken from the looks of it. It's going to be very interesting.
They are scared.
Did you see what Sky Hossman just put in YouTube chat?
No.
Casanova promised me a sweet tracksuit if I interfered. It was an offer I couldn't refuse. I would take fashion advice from Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles before Johnny Casanova.
Sorry, Casanova, your boy just dimed you out. Sorry, over here in the Twitch chat. No, sorry, dude, your boy just dimed you out. Your boy just dimed you out. Oh boy.
Tracksuit. That's all it took was a tracksuit?
I mean, they're not even that nice.
Some of them,
not that one.
I'm an Italian guy. You can get a nice velour one, and
that one looked like it was. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. But that one looked like it was like one of those ones where you walk it.
Them Walmart ones, them cheap ones. You got the windbreaker in the pants for like $4.99.
Yeah,
it's a deal you can't refuse.
Man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Snap you guys like twigs.
We have a new Ignition champion. Congratulations to Zamore for winning the second Ignition championship since its reincarnation. And I think
you gotta wonder.
I think you guys are right. I think this is going to be a much longer reign than the last one.
I'm interested. I'm very, very interested to see if there were also any other deals made so that one Sky Hossman at some point in time, and I know you have to earn points to work your way up into a title shot. However, we have seen and we have felt the ramifications of Preston Oblinger Skidmore himself with his little injunctions and his little legal mumbo jumbo finding ways to make things happen. We've seen Bud Bellflower do it too. Be very, very interesting to see going forward who just happens to be maybe the next person to get 5 points. Be very, very interesting.
No, I believe your next number one contender for that championship is going to come from the Grand Prix tournament.
Well, right now, you have Atiba leading now that Baylum, because I believe Baylum goes back to 0 now after this. Correct. And Zamore is off the board because he's obviously the champion. The next contender that is in first place right now is Atiba with 3 points.
Ooh.
There's nobody
Who
at 4.
to root for in that match?
There's nobody at 4 points.
There's nobody at 4. Well, Brad Radowski was, but we're not sure what's going on, so I'm kind of omitting that at this moment in time. But technically, last I had heard, Brad was still at 4. But aside from that, we have Atiba at 3, and there are a slew at 2. Bruce Waynes is at 2. Brew is at 2. Karen Curtis Cole is at 2. Currently, Echo sits at 2. He was at 3. Damon Ace is also sitting at 2. So there is a slew of talent on the way that's only a match or 2 away. And we never know about the President's Bounty. Those things happen. But the Grand Prix is going to be absolutely massive leading up to who could be, if not the next, but the one after contender for that title. But it also may not even be for the Ignition title. We do not know.
So I do believe
for President's Bounty, real quick. How about whoever beats any member of the law firm gets 2 points instead of 1?
Dean? Presidente?
I do believe that the next number one contender is going to come from the Grand Prix. regardless of the point standings.
How do you know that?
Because I believe it starts next week. I'm almost positive, at least from what I heard.
We'll have to get some confirmation.
Yeah,
as to what we're doing.
Confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Moving on. I mean, you kind of gave a brief rundown on the point standings, or at least like the top 5 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
The beacon of the week for this week. A lot of stuff happened this week between Charge and Ignition. Who is going to be your beacon of the week?
My beacon of the week this week is one Mr. Zamore. Congratulations on your win. You have been rolling. Bud, I give you credit. You have got him focused since you've come back. You're a snappier dresser, a better manager, and Zamore is performing at the top of his performance right now. God help you if you were in his way. Congratulations, Mr. Zamore. You are the beacon of the week.
And I have no choice but to concur. I mean, for somebody to get to that drive for 5 and win the title at the end, we saw how we won it, but it doesn't matter. He's going home with that title tonight. Beacon of the week has to be Zamore this evening. But with a huge, huge second place going to the law firm, because they also got everything they wanted tonight, except for Lola not winning. But other than that, they got everything they wanted.
All right, we have Sky Hossman. I'm winning the Grand Prix because my 3-legged cat is still upset with me for cashing in her title, and I need to make it up to her.
Well, that's because you're
That's motivation.
You're a bad man for cashing in that title and disappointing your cat. What's wrong with you?
All right. Oh, boy, we got a lot coming up. All right. This is the part of the show where we have to give you guys all the information as much as humanly possible with all the information that we have in front of us. All right. This Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, we have another event for Rocky Mountain Pro this week. It is Worlds Collide. Rocky Mountain Pro is going to be going up against Hugo's Lucha Libre in a bragging rights type event at the Wimmer Arena. Starts at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I don't know when doors open or anything because it's not written down, but it will be live on YouTube at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time as well when the event starts. So if you're not in the Denver area or the Inglewood area, you can easily watch it here on YouTube at that time. And then immediately after that event, the Dudes and Belts are going to go live, and we're going to recap everything that happened on Worlds Collide immediately afterwards.
We are.
So we'll be here. RMP will be there. Hugo's will be there. It should be a fantastic event. What are your thoughts on this upcoming event on Sunday? We heard a little bit from Coastal on Tuesday during Recharge. Marky, I want to get your opinion on how you think Worlds Collide is going to end up being.
Well, first of all, I think it's going to be it's going to hit home, very personal to both groups, to Hugo's and to Rocky Mountain Pro. I have to give the advantage to Rocky Mountain Pro, not necessarily because of the talent or the rosters, but because it's happening in RMP's building. It's happening at the Wimmer Arena with the Rocky Mountain fans, and that is a huge home game for RMP. Look, when it's like this with anything, when you have home and away matches, you want to be home for any match that you possibly have to have. And this is huge for RMP to have a home game in the middle of this one. Now, everybody out there, man, woman, referee, everybody is going to be out there fighting, not just to win the match, but for the pride of their own locker room. And that's going to be absolutely huge. The choice of referees is going to be also huge. Is there going to be bias? There should not be, but will there be? Will that play into anything? We don't know. It's going to be such a unique event, at least for us here at the Dudes, because we haven't seen RMP do anything like this in the last few years that we've been Dudes and RMP faithful along with everybody. So it's going to be a very, very unique situation. I don't know enough about Hugo's to give the edge one way or the other, but all I do know is that last week when Ignition ended, there was just as much fire on Hugo's side of the ring as there was on the RMP side of the ring. There was a lot of fire in that ring. There was a lot of animosity. There was a lot of emotions. Vago cut a huge promo at the end, albeit it was in Spanish, couldn't understand a lot of it. But then when the guy translated and let us know what he was saying, you could tell that is a big, big deal for bragging rights, for pride, and for love of the game, of what all these men and women are doing right now. This is going to be a huge event that none of us are going to want to miss whatsoever.
All right, we have Game Smashing with a $1.99 super chat over on YouTube saying, just want to say, love the show.
Thank you much, man.
Appreciate you.
All right. And that's not all that's coming up down the pipe. There's still a few more events that we got to talk about. Not this weekend, but I do believe next weekend, Rocky Mountain Pro is going to be at Beer Start, same time, same place as always. What?
I have to step away for a moment.
Oh, okay. So I believe that's coming the first Friday in March. But after that, ladies and gentlemen, oh boy. Rumble at the Loud House is going to be at the Ball Arena March 10th. Get your tickets to the Colorado Mammoth game, professional lacrosse team. Immediately after that game, Rocky Mountain Pro is going to be putting on a live event called Rumble at the Loud House. It goes for about an hour, hour and a half or so, roughly. And there'll be a few matches along with a huge battle royal. And I do believe something happened last year during that battle royal where the winner of that got a title shot of their choosing. So actually, I think that was, can't remember. God damn it. Oh, so long ago. Somebody in chat can refresh my memory. I actually feel like one of JK Pop members won the match. Why is that ringing a bell?
Oh, they probably did. They found a way to win it. They hid under the ring, handcuffed themselves to the bottom rope, you know.
Anyways, Rumble at the Loud House, March 10th, right after the Colorado Mammoth play their lacrosse game. Then, of course, Saturday. Well, that's on Friday. Saturday, March 11th, we have Never Broken. Already a couple big matches announced. We have the NRW Championship, Mercury Yaden taking on Damon Ace. We have the Rocky Mountain Pro Heavyweight Champion, David Drake, going up against Sledge. And we also have, I believe this is confirmed as well, we also have your starting lineup going up against the OGs. The loser of that match has to be disbanded. They are no longer a team. That and much, much more on Never Broken. VIP doors open at 6 p.m. with the VIP matches start at 6:15, which is also the pre-show for YouTube and Twitch. So if you're not going to be at the Wimmer Arena, you can watch the pre-show live on YouTube and Twitch at 6:15, where you'll see a couple matches as well before the main card begins. After that, you will see Never Broken on Fite TV at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So if you're not going to be at the Wimmer that day, make sure you get your pre-orders in or get ready to pre-order Never Broken on Fite TV. If you're on Twitch, there is a panel down below that you can just click and it brings you right to the Rocky Mountain Pro Fite page, and you can pre-order there. It's only a couple clicks that you have to do. I made it a little bit easier for everybody so you didn't have to really search.
It's wicked easy.
And I do believe there is a description on YouTube. If you go down through the description, you will be able to see the Fite link there as well. That also does the exact same thing, brings you right over to Rocky Mountain Pro's Fite page. And again, a couple clicks away, and you're pre-ordered and you're ready to watch Never Broken.
Beauty.
So that's happening on March 11th, and then March 12th we have Charge tapings. There will be more tapings at the Wimmer. Doors open at 4:30 with the bell time at 5. This one is very special because it is a thank you to all the Rocky Mountain Pro faithful who have supported Rocky Mountain Pro throughout the years. This Charge taping, well, this series of Charge tapings is going to be free to the public. So if you want to watch free wrestling and spend a few hours with Rocky Mountain Pro, head on over at 4:30 when the doors open and you get to watch exciting wrestling action for free at the Wimmer Arena Sunday, March 12th. Okay, we're almost done.
You good?
We're almost
Take a breath.
done.
Breathe.
Also, if you guys haven't subscribed, or not subscribed, become members on the YouTube channel at Rocky Mountain Pro. Do so before our first memberships only live stream, because our first membership only live stream will be with a Rocky Mountain Pro talent, and only members are allowed to interact with that Rocky Mountain Pro talent throughout the duration of the stream. It's one of our special perks to say thank you to everybody who has become members and supported Rocky Mountain Pro during all the years and the transition over to YouTube. For everybody that keeps on watching, we greatly appreciate you. I do think that the stream will still be able to be seen live, but in order to interact and ask questions to the talent, you have to become a member. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You will also get, obviously, a membership badge that you see next to Lucas Bradwell's name, so on and so forth. You will also be able to have emojis. And because of all the members that have joined the supporter program over here on the YouTube page, there will be 4 new emojis coming within the next week or two. We just opened 4 new slots. So those will be filled.
4?
Yeah, 4.
Sweet.
So we'll be able to fill those up within the next week or two. So you guys will not only have the emojis that you already have currently, but there will be more coming within the next week or two. And you get all of that by becoming a member. And, of course, also being a part of our Q&A portion on Sunday nights, which we're not doing this week because of our special broadcasts of Dudes and Belts after Worlds Collide. And you also have priority chat for Ignition every Thursday. Okay, I'm done.
Dude, I am juiced up for Worlds Collide Sunday night. I am juiced up.
It's gonna be really, really good.
Yes. Clash of styles, clash of companies. It's gonna be fantastic. As Yaden has said, even some of those guys have trained together. So maybe a few of them are familiar with each other, but there's no way that everybody has sparred at one point with everybody. So it's going to be a very unique situation to watch.
Ugh. All right, boys. Final thoughts on Ignition before we decide to wrap everything up tonight.
It was a big show. It had a big ending. It was all really, really good throughout. We got a lot of insight as to what's happening. Not so much in the ring, but backstage. And I'm sticking by my guns. I think Bud and POS have something going on.
I was happy to see Presidente Peligro come out and finally handle business when it comes to Johnny Casanova inserting his face where it doesn't belong. I'm happy that we do have an Ignition champion now. We are going to have a dominant Ignition champion in Zamore for a long time. And now, this is honestly, if we look at it from one side, a good thing for Baylum, because now Baylum and Echo can just put their eyes on the prize and go forward and keep going back after those tag team titles and getting them off of JK Pop. Now that this is past, yeah, I'm sure Baylum's disappointed. You know, the coffee's not going to taste as good as it usually does tomorrow morning when he wakes up. But eventually, it'll get past it, and him and Echo will be back on the same page. And, again, on site when it comes to JK Pop.
All right. We have Sky Horseman. So when does the former Ignition champion get an emoji? I'm going to have to take it up with the higher-ups there, sir.
You know, I'll give him that one. Watching him in the ring, he deserves one. He's good. He's really good. All he's done is go out and put in quality matches night in and night out.
And win for the most part.
I'd be down for a sky emoji, like a guy jumping out of an airplane or something without a parachute.
Or just him with his aviators on.
All right.
Hey.
Yeah, they're going to get knocked out of the Grand Prix early. Who's going to get knocked out?
Casanova, oh my God.
Who's going to get knocked out?
Everybody except the law office, because they're going to cheat in every match and blah, 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 blah. Casanova's like a 3-week-old banana that's been sitting on your countertop. You know you needed to make banana bread like a week and a half ago, but you never did. And
But now it's just trash.
now it's just like
It smells bad and it's trash.
The fruit flies are buzzing around it. You don't want to throw it away because you hate wasting food. So you throw it in the woods and maybe an animal will eat it.
Oh,
The
he says La
animal gets
Isla.
sick and you feel bad.
He's saying La Isla. It's going to get knocked out of the Grand Prix tournament.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
Okay.
Nice mask, bro. Nice mask. I'm glad you cut the eye holes out of it and you wear glasses. And don't like them. Can't stand it anymore, dude. I tried to keep my mouth shut for so long. I tried to keep my mouth shut, man. I just can't anymore. I just can't. I cannot keep my mouth shut about this anymore. Someone's compost is another person's gold.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually a deer walking through the woods and it turns into poop in about 3 hours after that. Get out of here.
Oh, he's used that mask to win a few matches here or there. He made some use for it. All right.
Listen to you defending him. Don't defend him.
Look at all those. Look at all those emotes on YouTube. Yeah. We're going to be adding about 4 more of those. So get ready, members. You got a whole crop full of emotes waiting. We just need more members. It's just like Twitch. The more members we get on YouTube, the more emote slots we get. Or emoji slots. Whatever they call them over on YouTube. So. All right. Let's wrap everything up.
Yeah. I'm pissed. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
Oh,
I gotta keep my.
you said that
No.
P word. You said
No,
that P word.
I'm wicked. Wicked. I'm not.
Just say it. Just say it.
I hate. Johnny. You're lucky I'm 2,000 miles away, dude.
Oh, relax, sir.
I'm sick of it. No, I'm sick of it. Sick of it.
All right. We're going to wrap this up tonight over here on YouTube, Twitch. Hang on in there. We're going to send you over to somebody else. So YouTube, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Great crowd, great chat tonight. Greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. And of course, like we said, RMP versus Hugo's Lucha Libre this Sunday at Worlds Collide. It will be starting on YouTube at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And if you're on our side of the country, it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right.
Yes.
For all of us here on the Dudes and Belts, myself, Johnny Deathdrop, Ghost Crusader on the left, and Marky Pins on the right, we will see you guys on Sunday for a special episode of Dudes and Belts. As always, folks, stay safe, stay classy, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, folks.